This is Embrace Your Inner Boldness, a podcast about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. I'm Melissa Henning Frank, coach, guide, and founder of Becoming Bold. I help you strip away the conditioning, reclaim your voice, and rise into the power that's always been yours. Let's get right to it. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I want to talk about leadership burnout today. The kind that quietly shapes how teams feel without anyone really saying it out loud. If you think about it, as humans, we've gone through some really tough years. If you're listening to this, you've survived a pandemic and you're surviving an incredibly difficult time in human history. And you're expected to perform as if none of that matters. So burnout is a very big concern for so many of us. And if you're leading a team, you might be feeling it intensely. Exhaustion is a common concern among my clients these days. And so is stress and overall mental health. So I want to really dig into this. When a leader is burnt out, it shows up in the room. It shows up in meetings, in email tone, in how decisions happen, in how safe people feel speaking up. And most of the time, nobody says it out loud. Things just start to feel different. So let's talk about what that looks like. You've probably seen when the boss is actually too busy to lead. The leader is slammed, their calendar is packed, they're moving fast, and they're juggling a lot. Leadership turns into quick check-ins and half answers. People bring questions, and they might hear things like, just do what you think is best. I don't have time to think about that right now. Or let's circle back. And at first, the team figures out how to fill in the gaps. They make assumptions. They move forward without clarity. And over time, things start to feel messy. Work becomes rework. Priorities might shift midstream. People stop asking questions because it feels like they're interrupting. And the room gets quieter. And not because everything is crystal clear, but because everybody's kind of guessing. Burnout changes how conversations sound. Check-ins revolve around deadlines, what's missing, what needs to move faster. It's really reactive. There's less context, less curiosity, less space for conversation. And people notice this, especially the ones who care deeply about doing good work. They keep showing up, but the energy shifts. Effort becomes mechanical, and people do what's required and not much more. Some days the leader is engaged and open. Other days they're short, distant, or hard to read. Leaders are human. So the team adjusts, and people hesitate before speaking. They choose their words carefully. They wait to see how the mood feels. A lot of energy goes into monitoring instead of working. Coaching and development stop happening in real time. Feedback gets delayed. Small issues linger. Strengths go unused. People plateau without even noticing or realizing why. And eventually someone disengages or leaves, and it feels sudden, even though it wasn't. And then the goal becomes to just get through the week. The focus shifts. There's less talk about where the team is going and more talk about how to get through the next few days. The work still happens, it just feels heavier. So let's talk about what actually helps when burnout is pervasive. This is where things start to shift, and it doesn't require a complete overhaul. So from the leader, what I've seen help most is slowing the leadership moments down, even if everything else is moving fast. And that can look like setting aside protected time to think and decide, not just react. It can look like giving clearer direction up front so people aren't guessing later. Naming priorities out loud and clearly so everything doesn't feel urgent. Being honest when capacity is stretched instead of disappearing or hiding. Those small moments of presence tend to calm the whole system. And then from direct reports, because realistically, teams are not powerless here. So some helpful things I've seen from direct reports include bringing clear, specific questions instead of broad questions. Offering options when decisions are needed. Saying what needs to be said when there's a lack of clarity and it's slowing things down. Asking for priorities to be confirmed before moving forward. This is going to reduce the back and forth and create steadier ground. And then from peers and fellow leaders, because this part often gets overlooked. Notice when somebody is overloaded and say it out loud. And share decision making or remove unnecessary meetings. Check in privately instead of letting things build. Normalize asking for help instead of powering through. Leadership isn't meant to be done alone, even though it often is. So leadership shows up in more than plans and performance. It shows up in the environment that people work inside every single day. And when burnout is present, like it really is right now, everybody feels it. When clarity and presence return, then the room changes. If this episode resonated, share it with someone who might recognize what's been hard to name. Thank you for listening. So until next time, please be kind to your mind. That's it for today's episode of Embrace Your Inner Boldness. If this stirred something in you, don't let it fade. Screenshot this episode, tag me at Becoming Bold LLC, and share it with someone else who's ready to rise. And hey, if you haven't already, take a second to subscribe, rate, and review the show. That's how we spread the boldness and keep this movement growing. Whatever came up for you today, feel the fear and do it anyway. You don't need to wait for perfect timing or permission. You are powerful. You are ready. And remember, the only limit to your boldness is the one you set for yourself. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and keep becoming you.